Welcome to the deep dive. We take complex source material articles, research reports, and basically pull out the actionable blueprints for success. Today, we've got a really interesting set of sources, all focused on effective community leadership. It centers around a recent award winner. We're diving deep into the work, the model, really, of Dominic Cameron. He's the recipient of the 2025 D2 Strong Community Pathfinder for Progress Award. And when you look at his record, like a quarter century of service, especially in San Antonio's East Side, you start asking, okay, what did he actually do? What structures did he build to earn that Pathfinder title? And can we sort of distill his strategy for investing in people, make it replicable?
Yeah, and what really jumps out from the sources is this isn't just about having good intentions. It's like a detailed blueprint. Servant leadership, definitely rooted in his own community, the place that raised him. But the key things, the values he built this on, seem very intentional. Discipline, humility, purpose. It's not just volunteering. It's like a codified philosophy for making a real impact.
That length of commitment is just staggering. 25 years. The sources are specific about that. Shaping young lives, coaching, mentoring, education, all focused on San Antonio's East Side. I mean, 25 years isn't just a project. That's a career dedicated to one place. The consistency is hard to wrap your head around.
That's really the crux of it, isn't it? Consistency as the strategy. He's described pretty much everywhere as a lifelong servant leader, but it's grounded, like you said, in structure. He didn't just rely on passion. He got his degree right. A bachelor's in business management with a minor in business studies. Sam Houston high grad, but then the formal education.
Okay, wait. That business degree detail feels really important. Often you hear about community work, and it's all heart, all personality, which is great, but sometimes those efforts, they fade when the person moves on. But business management training, that teaches you to build systems, to think about sustainability.
Exactly, and you see that directly in how he set things up. He married that organizational thinking with his deep community roots. And his professional background had backed this up too. Teacher of the Year in 2022, recognized among South Texas's best coaches in 2025. So he's bringing professional expertise, high-level skills to a community mission. It's not just heart. It's expertly applied skill.
Okay, so let's unpack how that structured mindset actually worked on the ground. His main platform seems to be this DC speed camp. Started small, the sources say, but it grew into something, well, pretty sophisticated.
Yeah, the evolution is kind of amazing. It became a free 16-week program. And you can see the business thinking there, making it free, removes that huge financial barrier, especially for the community he was focused on. But 16 weeks, that's also strategic. It's long enough to actually instill habits, build accountability. It's not just a quick clinic.
Right. And the logistics. Wow. Serving kids from 4 years old all the way up to 21, that's an 18-year age gap. Managing the needs of a 4-year-old versus, say, a college athlete. That requires serious planning, curriculum, resources. How does he manage that complexity and still keep it free?
That's where you see the management skills, probably. Highly structured resource allocation, volunteer coordination. Well, it has to be organized. But the sources emphasize, while yes, it teaches speed and conditioning, the real focus is kind of this hidden curriculum. The athletics or the draw, the hook, maybe. But the core product is life skills, teamwork, building confidence, developing character. That integration makes sure the time spent is hitting both physical and internal development.
Okay, so if the athletics are the delivery method, how do they measure the other stuff, the character development? I mean, how do you quantify confidence or perseverance? How do you show the part of the model is actually working?
Well, one way is looking at how they recognize success. For the last 5 years or so, they've had these annual scholarships, one male, one female athlete. And the criteria for winning, that's basically his philosophy in action. It's not about who's fastest or who scored the most points. It's about perseverance, leadership, integrity. That sends a really clear message, right? To every kid in the camp. The highest value is on who you become, your character. That stuff lasts longer than speed.
Right.
You get the scholarship based on, who you were during those 16 weeks, not just your stats.
That makes sense, that consistent value system. It leads us right into the next piece, doesn't it? This other organization, the Seasoned Gentleman, Cameron is the CEO there too. So DC Speed Camp is this structured 16-week thing. This feels like the follow-through, the reinforcement.
Exactly. It feels like the necessary long-term piece. The sources frame it as directly addressing that need for consistent, positive male role models in the community. It's made up of accomplished men. The phrase used is united by experience and wisdom. And their focus is mentoring boys ages 12 to 18, that critical time for figuring out who you are.
Mentorship sounds great on paper, but, it can be really inconsistent. Programs sometimes struggle, mentors drop out, or there's no real structure. Do the sources say anything about how the seasoned gentleman keeps those adult mentors committed? Is it just goodwill, or is there more to it?
That's a good question. The sources sort of imply it's about formalizing that commitment and having a really clear shared mission. They recruit accomplished men, guys who've already shown discipline and success. That sets a certain standard for the guidance. And the organization itself provides structure, specific goals for the mentors,
Mm.
helping these young men understand discipline, respect, being grounded.
So it's not just like grabbing coffee once in a while, it's actually integrated with the character stuff from the speed camp. They're taking those principles, discipline, integrity, and showing them embodied by successful adults from the community, reinforcing it.
Absolutely. The sources really hammer this point.
Mm.
These are values that transcend sport and prepare young men for life.
Mm. So yeah, if DC Speed Camp lays the foundation for character, the seasoned gentleman kind of builds the walls around it, makes sure it sticks through adolescence and into adulthood. It's this whole ecosystem, really, combining the sports training with formalized, multi-generational mentorship. That seems to be what makes Cameron's approach different. He built more than just a program. He built a support system.
Okay, putting all that together, the 25 years, the structured free speed camp focusing on character, the seasoned gentleman providing that long-term guidance. It brings us back to the award. Why this title? Community Pathfinder for Progress. What exactly made him a Pathfinder? Well, the rationale for the award ties it all together nicely. He's seen as a living embodiment of that ideal, specifically because he used all his gifts, his sports knowledge, his teaching skills, that business training we talked about, not really for his own career, but focused entirely on lifting other people up.
Right. That's the Pathfinder part. He didn't just find a path. He built one for the next generation where maybe there wasn't one before.
Precisely. Building pathways for opportunity, especially in an underserved community, helping young people find discipline, confidence, self-worth. His whole model mentorship, education, and that critical piece, the consistency, it systematically changed lives. It strengthened the social fabric of the East Side. The sources are clear. For Cameron, progress comes from organized, sustained investment in people, not just quick fixes or short-term projects.
And it seems like his public work lines up with his personal life, too. That consistency. Again, the sources mention he's a devoted father, 4 kids. His life reflects those same values. Consistency, compassion, conviction. It suggests the public mission isn't separate. It's just an extension of who he is, applied consistently. That consistency feels like the operational superpower here. Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. If we distill the core ingredients for this kind of pathfinding success, you've got the long-term commitment, like 25 years, check. You've got using professional expertise, business, education to build something structured, free, and scalable like the DC Speed Camp, check. And then ensuring that character development continues through organized, cross-generational mentoring like the seasoned gentleman, check. It's like a 3-legged stool, right? Seems incredibly stable and effective for community building.
Yeah, that's a great summary. And the final takeaway from the sources is pretty powerful, I think. It's a challenge, really. Cameron's vision seems to be that real community progress starts with that structured, consistent investment in people. One kid, one family, one intentional act at a time. So it leaves you, the listener, with this blueprint on a question, doesn't it? If success really is measured by the lives you strengthen, the pathways you build, what's the one consistent act of service rooted in discipline, with real structure, not just good intentions? What could you start doing today to build your own legacy? Focus on the structure, the consistency. That seems to be the key lesson here.